This is my faith, this is my focus, all of my days. I know where my hope is, I'll live it loud, I'll shout the chorus, because I know, oh, you're always for us. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I'll fix my eyes on you. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you. This is my faith, this is my focus, all of my days. I know where my hope is, I'll live it loud, I'll shout the chorus, because I know, oh, you're always for us. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I'll fix my eyes on you. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you, oh yeah. Woo! You ready? Come on, let's go. Hands in the air, hands in the air. I know you're there, I know you're there. Anywhere, oh. Anywhere. I fix my eyes on you. Hands in the air, hands in the air. I know you're there, I know you're there. Anywhere, I fix my eyes on you. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I'll fix my eyes on you. You are my only, you are my only focus. You are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you.
Hey campers, I'm Miss Andrea and I'm so glad you joined me today for Pilgrim Arts Camp in Focus 2020. We've got a lot of great things in store for you this week and we're excited to get started.
Whoa, this is amazing! Can you see that? Oh, Hey there, my name's Kellen and that was my eyeball. Let's do it one more time. Woo! Woohoo! Ah, cool, right? Well, God gave us eyes to see and they're pretty impressive. The eye muscles are the fastest in the body, and while the eye is only an inch across and weighs less than a slice of bread, it has over 2 million working parts and can see millions of colors. Incredible, right? Our Bible story today is from the book of Romans and was written by a guy named the Apostle Paul. Now, Paul was not one of the original 12 disciples of Jesus, but he had a pretty amazing encounter with Jesus that changed his life. So amazing that Paul ended up writing several books in the New Testament, more than any other person. And so in Romans, Paul writes this: "Ever since the world was created, it has been possible to see the qualities of God that are not seen. I'm talking about his eternal power and about the fact he is God. Those things can be seen in what he has made, so people have no excuse for what they do." So what is Paul saying? He's saying, look around. Look at this incredible world. See the incredible things in nature. The ocean, the mountains, how intricate a beautiful and single flower is. Why are these things here? Well, Paul's saying it points to a God who created them. But God's creation doesn't just include nature. Look at your friends and your family, the people that you love and that love you. Where does that love come from? It comes from how you were created. And that fact also points to a God who loves us. Paul is simply saying, stop and take a closer look. And when you do, you'll see the evidence of a God who loves you and loves the world. If we really look for it, we'll be able to see the amazing things about God and the amazing things God is doing in our world. But here's something else I want to look at today. Even though Paul wrote this with only being able to use his eyes, today we're also going to use some tools to help us see things our eyes by themselves can't see. Let's take this telescope for example. Our eyes can only see so far, but when we look through a telescope and bring it into focus, we can see things further out in space. And some scientists have even used bigger and more powerful telescopes to see further and further into space. And here's the thing about space. It's huge. Let me show you what I've been able to see. So, here's us. But here we are in our solar system. Yep. You see that tiny little blue dot? That's us. So that's our solar system. But our solar system is a tiny, tiny thing in our galaxy, the Milky Way. Now, where are we in our galaxy? You gotta figure we're right in the middle, right? Nope. Our solar system, all 8 of our planets in the sun, is like a speck of sand right here. And you're thinking, well, that's gotta be it, right? The galaxy's huge, so huge that I can't even wrap my head around it. But do you know how many more massive galaxies there are in the universe? Maybe a handful? Scientists now believe there are 2 trillion galaxies. When we look up at the stars, it lets us see the traits of a God who is bigger than our imagination. So, now that you and I are maybe feeling a little small, let me show you something else. I have a microscope here, and with super high-powered microscopes, we can see incredible detail of the smallest things. Our body is made up of all kinds of cells and some of the smallest things that can do incredible work that help us walk and talk, eat and think, digest our food, run around, climb trees, and each of those cells has its own job. Here, take a look at this. All right, let's bring this into focus. All right, there we go. What do you guys think those are? I'll give you a hint. Everyone take a deep breath right now. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Those things are called alveoli. Our lungs are made up of tiny air sacs that take oxygen in and carbon dioxide out with every breath. Look how incredible they are. Do you know how many of them are in your lungs? Hundreds of millions. Every breath while you're running in gym class and every breath while you're sleeping. When you take a closer look with a microscope, we can see that even the smallest part of us is created with such detail and care. Our God is so vast, it's mind-boggling. But He also cares about the smallest thing inside each of you. But what else can we see in creation that points us to a God we can't see? Well, we read in Genesis, in the creation story, that humans were a part of creation. And it says that we were all created in the image of God. That includes me, and that includes you. That means a lot of things, but I think it means that since we were created in God's image, we too can point to God. I'll give you an example. If I saw a building on fire, that would be pretty scary, right? But do you know what else I could see if I took out this pair of binoculars? Whoa, I'd see people. I'd see the firefighters running to put out the fire. Maybe even going inside to save people. When we see people loving others more than themselves, it points to a God who created us to do some pretty amazing things. When we really focus, we have so many things around us that we can see and observe. And even though we can't physically see God, the things we can see point to a God that is here right now working in our lives. As we learn more and more about this world that God has created for us, we can be excited about how much care God gave the world. And that's a reminder that God loves me and God loves you. And that's some pretty good news. Well, I'll see you next time as we take a closer look.
To go along with our theme this year, all of our projects will enable and encourage you to slow down, investigate, and focus in on the wonderful little details of your surroundings as you put your awesome creativity to work. Here's a list of the supplies for today. Hit pause so you can gather everything you need, and when you're ready, press play to create your masterpiece.
Hi, I'm Miss Rose. Let's paint today.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. We're going to be creating an abstract painting of lavenders in a field, and we're going to be using the technique of pointillism, which is using a lot of small dots together to create a bigger picture. I'm so excited for you guys to do this with me.
The supplies we're going to need today are acrylic paints, blue, purple, white, a dark green, an 8x10 canvas or a thick sheet of paper, 5 Q-tips, 3 paint brushes, 1 wide, 2 small brushes, and I'm using a paint palette, but you can also just use a regular paper plate, and paper towels. So we're going to bring out our 8x10 canvas, and we're going to take our paint colors and squirt them out so we have them to use. The first one I'm squirting out is white, then the next I'm going in with some purple, and you're going to definitely be needing a lot of purple. Then we're going to use some blue, but you don't need so much of the blue. We're just going to use a little bit of it to make our sky, but you definitely don't need a lot. And then the last color that we're going to need is going to be our green, and again, you're not going to need a lot of the green. So then we're going to take one of our smaller skinny paintbrushes, we're going to dip it in the blue like that, and then we're going to dab it all over our canvas. You don't have to do in any particular pattern. I think the best is just to kind of just dab it all over. So that's going to look the best when we then are going to go in with our white and dab it all over. And then if you don't want to do that, you can also just take the squirt bottle and just kind of squirt a little bit of white paint all over the canvas as well. And then we're going to take the brush and then we're just going to do a swiping motion back and forth to kind of mix in the blue and the white paint. You don't need it to be perfect. Leaving the streaks in there helps to add more depth and dimension to our background, and it's going to make it look a little bit more like a sky instead of just making it one flat pale blue color. So we're going to go back into our whites, and then we're going to dab it all over the painting, and that's going to help bring in some more of that streaky sky effect that we like.
And after we're done and we've gotten the right amount of texture, we're just going to let it dry or hit it with a blow dryer and speed up the process. I'm running my hands across it just to show that it's dry. And now I'm going to move on to the next step. And this one is a little more optional. You really don't have to do it. But the reason why I wanted to do it was I feel like it adds some dimension and texture to the painting. So you're just going to take the paint and rub it into the paper towel. And then you're just going to dab the paper towel all over the canvas. And like I said, it's just going to add a nice bit of texture to your background, and it's going to just give a little more dimension to your final picture. And because we only use a little bit of paint, it's going to dry pretty quickly, so we don't have to wait. We can move right into the next step. And this is where we're going to be creating our stems. And this is where we're going to have a lot of flexibility. I'm using a straw because I was a little lazy and didn't feel like washing the handle of the paintbrush afterwards, but you can take your extra little skinny paintbrush and use that, or you could even go outside and find a twig to do this with. So I'm going to dip into the green, and I'm going to just paint one side of the straw, and then I'm going to take the side with paint on it and just press it in to the canvas in different spots, different angles. This is kind of really just very arbitrary. You don't have to make them all the same length, and if anything, the more that you vary your length, I think the better that it looks. And then I'm just going to go in again and repaint my straw because, like I said, you're going to want to make a lot of different size stems. You're not just going to want to do a few because then it kind of makes the painting look a little sparse. So once I'm done my first shade of green, I'm going to take another paintbrush. I'm going to go into the white and I'm going to scoop it up into a clean spot. And I'm going to just, oh whoops, made a little bit of a mess there, but it's okay. I'm just going to dab it out a little bit with my paper towel. And that's a quick and easy fix. And now I'm going to go back to taking a little bit of that green and mixing it together with that white to make a lighter shade of green. And then once I've mixed it enough, I'm going to paint my straw again, and then I'm going to use that to stamp some lighter shade green stems onto the painting. Now I'm going to go back in with just a little bit more white, and I'm going to mix it in with the medium green that I made to make it even paler. And then why this is a great idea is because with the darker and the lighter shades of green, it just adds dimension to our picture and gives the idea of stems that are closer and stems that are further away. And then adding in all the different height of stems, all the different ones that are darker and lighter, really just helps to fill up our canvas and to really add to this idea of a wild field of lavender. And then if you want, you can take your paintbrush and maybe darken a few stems or maybe make a few spots on the bottom a little darker. But once again, there's no set rules. There's no aim for perfection here. And if anything, the imperfection is what's going to make it look even better. So now the green stems have dried. And now we're going to go in and make the different shades of purple that we're going to need for our lavender. So we're going to take some purple and scoop it out into 2 different spots. One is going to become a medium shade of purple, and the other one's going to become a very, very light shade of purple. And as you can see, I'm just mixing in some white until I feel happy with the shade that I've made. Now this is going to be the medium shade, so it's not going to be quite as dark as our original shade, but not going to be as light as our much lighter shade. And as you can see, I'm scooping over some more white into the 3rd pan, but I don't think that's enough, so I'm going to squirt in some more of my bottle, and then I'm going to mix all together, and I'm going to end up with a very, very pale shade of purple. And as we go forward into the next steps, you're going to see why we made more shades of purple. So now we're going to get our Q-tip, and the first color we're going to start with is going to be the medium purple. And we're going to pick a point on the stem, maybe about 1/4 up from the bottom. And I kind of like this stem the most. And so the base is going to be the widest, and that's going to maybe be 4 or 5 Q-tip dots across. And then as you go up higher, you're going to get narrower and skinnier. So I'm going to go from like 5 across to 3 across to 2 across, and then 1 across all the way at the top. And we're going to just follow the point of the stem all the way up. And it's going to end up looking like a very long triangle shape. And then I'm going to move on to the stem right here. And I'm just going to do the same technique. I'm going to stamp across at the bottom, and as I'm going up to the top, it's just going to get a little skinnier. And my video jumped a little bit, but as you can see, I've just been working with the same shade of purple, stamping lavender, different spots. And they don't have to all be facing the same way. As you can see, I kind of picked stems that are leaning into each other, leaning away from each other. And this one here is almost going across, off the page. And as you're stamping, if you find that the point or the side that you're using is just starting to not look as sharp of a little dot anymore, and it's starting to get more spread out, then all you're going to do is just flip your Q-tip over and use the other side, and then you can get a nice sharp circle again. And you don't need to cover up every single spot of the stem or of the lavender in the light purple, because you're going to want to be able to see some of the circles that you've made. And if you put too many, then it just kind of becomes one big blob. So now I'm going to go in with the darker purple, and I'm not going to do quite as many little circle stamps with it as the medium purple, but I'm just still going to follow the same idea, more at the bottom and as I go up top to get a little skinnier, and to do only, a trail of like single dots going up. Same over here, more at the bottom, less at the top. And I'm going to repeat this all through the lavenders that I've decided to create. So as you're doing this, there shouldn't be any worries or stress about it looking exact or perfect, because once again, this is an abstract painting, and that's kind of the beauty of it, is the mistakes actually kind of help to add to the finished picture. And just really take your time and have fun with just dotting in the colors of purple. And as you can see, I've now transitioned to using the lightest color of purple that I created. And I'm definitely not doing as many dots. I'm just kind of adding in the light purple just to add more of a highlight in different spots, just so you can see contrast between the medium and the dark, and now just a few areas with the light lavender as well. Now I think that looks pretty good. So I have a few spots that kind of looked a little smudged after I added in my light purple, so I'm just going to go back in and just add a few more spots of the dark purple. I'm really just doing this to the spots that I want to see it. There is no right or wrong. It just really comes down to your preference of what you think looks good. And I'm just going to go back in with medium shade of purple just to fill in any of the spots that I think I could just do with a little more purple. And so far, I'm really loving the way this turned out. And this is the last step, is you're going to go back in with just a little bit of the white. And as you can see, I'm dabbing a little bit off. I don't want a lot. I'm just going to dab it in a few spots on each lavender stem. And just making sure to not have any big heavy spots of the white, just a few small spots in each one. That's it. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this process with me, but this is now our finished product. I hope that you had a wonderful time following along and that your lavender portraits have turned out beautiful and wonderful. And have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Miss Rose. That was awesome. I can't wait to see all of your projects that you've completed. Have your parents post them on our Facebook page so we can all enjoy your wonderful creations. Now, stick around. We've got more fun for you coming up next.
Ready? Okay. Ready? Go. Oh, that is a beautiful blue. Look at that. That is, okay, here we go.
It's bubbling!
It's alive! Oh, okay, you see us, right? But do you really? Because you aren't seeing us.
They're not?
Nope.
So, what are they seeing?
Well, they're seeing the light off of a TV or a computer or projector screen. Right now, we're being recorded on a camera. Huh? Yes. Yes. But does the camera even see us? I mean, all it's seeing is the light bouncing off our forms, right? Watch this. Okay, right now, we're in pitch black darkness. You might as well be watching a blank screen. We're here, you know we are, because you can hear us, but who knows whether or not it's exactly as you remember. Because of light. I'm Kyle, this right here is Samantha.
Hi, guys.
And this is Wilson, and today we are taking a closer look at how we see things, or don't. Hey, want to see something weird? Come on. What is that?
Oh, I know that is an alien planet from a video game.
Whatever it is, it's disgusting.
I wouldn't say it's disgusting, Wilson. After all, you have it on your face.
What?
Yeah.
No, get off!
No,
Get off!
no, it's
Get
you too, Samantha, by the way. It's
I
on.
have a video game on my face.
No, it's not an alien planet. Thank you, though. Thanks. No, see, we just have to take a closer look because this is actually this.
Wait, you're saying that image is just an eyelash?
Yep. Seen through a microscope. See, some things that we see every day look kind of gross and freaky and foreign, you know?
I don't think mine look like that because those look icky.
Okay, well, this is tiny. Want to see something huge?
Oh, more than anything.
Okay, so we're gonna move from the microscope to the telescope.
Oh, I've got one of those.
Okay. All right. Yes, this right here are the pillars of creation. They're these giant trunks of gas and dust. And some people think the gas and dust are out there making brand new stars. Whoa. Yeah, right? All of that space dust is just a combination of carbon and hydrogen. All the same things that make up you and me, but they're out there making brand new stars in the sky. So everything from the eyelashes on your face to these astronomical miracles 7,000 light years away are all part of the same components. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. But wait, how far is 7,000 light years?
41 quadrillion miles. It's crazy, right?
I mean, I guess.
So cool.
No matter where we are or what we're doing, we're all just trying to take a closer look at the things around us, whether they be teeny tiny and can fit in the palm of our hand, or they're trillions and trillions of miles out there in space.
So far away.
It really is. Whether we're looking at it through a microscope or a telescope or binoculars or even glasses, we all just want to see the universe around us.
Getting to see stuff like this is amazing.
It really is. I love how we were created to see things and how there are so many things created that allow us to see. But we're not done yet. We'll be back in a little bit and talk more about it.
Do we get to blow something up?
Oh, that also sounds exciting.
We can sure try.
Boom.
Everything you do is beautiful. Oh, all that you have made is wonderful. Oh, so I will sing it out, shout it loud. My God is amazing.
Okay, welcome back to A Closer Look. And today, we're talking about something yes.
I think I get it.
Okay, what do you get?
Why the show is called Closer Look.
Okay.
It's because we are taking a closer look at all the things we can see.
Okay, yes, very close, but not just the things we can see, also the things we can't.
Like dangerous ultraviolet radiation.
Oh, okay, turn that off. That's okay, yeah, but not quite that. But you know what? Hold on 1 second. I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, coming through. Perfect. Okay, so obviously there's things we can see and we know that are there. But then there are things that we can't see, but we have instruments like, hold on to that for me, thank you. Instruments like telescopes to see where they are. But then, can you plug this in for me? Thank you so much. Then there are things we can't see, but we know they are there.
Like what?
Like, I got it. This. Like the wind! We can't see it, but we know it's there because of all the things that it touches, like Wilson's papers and all of their hair as it's blowing through the wind.
What?
Sorry, I said the wind. You can know that it's there, but it shows you the things you can't see.
I don't like it! I want it to stop! I think I get the point!
Okay, fine, yeah. Okay, hold on. But you know, that's the whole point of this show. We want you to take a closer look at things, even things we can't see. Even though we can't see some things, we can know they're there because of the things we can see. I mean, there's so many things around us we can't see, but they affect everything we do day to day.
Like wind.
Like atoms.
Oxygen.
Like ultraviolet radiation light, right, Samantha? Right?
What?
Ah.
Did you say something about dangerous autopilot integration?
No.
Okay. Then I can't hear you.
All right. Do you have an otoscope?
Do I have a bar of soap?
What's an otoscope?
It's a thing that doctors use to look into people's ears. I think Samantha here stood a little too close to that fan.
I can't hear you too. I think I stood too close to the fan.
I think so too. Probably, yeah.
All right. Follow me.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? What are some cool things around you that you see? And what are some things you know that are real, even though you can't see them? Have fun taking a closer look on your own, and we'll see you next time on A Closer Look.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.